Good morning, students. This is the fourth video of the chapter Nationalism in India. And in this video, we are going to discuss the impact of non-cooperation movement on different parts of India. In last video, we discussed the impact of non-cooperation movement in town. And we came to know that how the NCM started in town and thereafter it became slowed down because there was no alternative. And at last, all the important officials, students, teachers, they returned back to their respective college or offices. And at last we had seen that how the khadi clothes, it lost its value because it was costly. And as a result, again, the cheaper goods or the textile, Manchester textiles came into existence in India. Now we are going to discuss the countryside, and after that we will discuss the plantation. So we will discuss that how the non-cooperation movement created its impact in the countryside, and thereafter we will discuss how it created its impact in the plantation area. So let us discuss the countryside. Countryside is a part of land that is nearby the village area or that is around the village area. That is far apart from the town area. Now in the countryside, two type of groups were there. First group was the peasant group and other group was the tribal group. So we need to understand their role and how they got influenced by the NCM. When we started this topic, we discussed that NCM created its impact in different parts of the India. But its impact was quite different. And different groups took the meaning of non-cooperation movement in their own way. So far as peasant is concerned, the peasants demanded that their taxes should be waived off, and they were fighting against the talukdars or zamindars. The peasants' main problem was the land, and they are not getting the proper land from the zamindars, and zamindars impose very heavy taxes or revenue on them. So they struggled a lot and they demanded that the revenue should be waived off. While they were moving ahead, the Congress party tried to raise the issue. But here, the peasant movement became violent. And as a result, the Congress party didn't like it. So that is why altogether the peasant demands could not be raised on the Congress platform. Here, when the movement was going on, a peasant movement was going on, one important leader was there. His name was Baba Ramchandra. He came forward and he gave the leadership to the peasant movement. And finally, Awadh Kisan Sabha was formed under his leadership. Nehru came and he also helped Baba Ramchandra. And finally, with the contribution of Baba Ramchandra, he was a Fiji important leader. He was in fact he was a Fiji laborer, and he came to India, and after that he organized that movement, and that was established Awadh Kisan Sabha. So he organized that movement, and automatically the voice were raised. So peasant voice were raised with help of few leaders, and Baba Ramchandra was one of them. We need to understand here again, the peasant raised issues not only against the talukdars or zamindars, but they are also against the imposition of high taxes by the British government. So when the concept of non-cooperation movement reached to them, they thought that they will get freedom from this. They will get back their land. They will not have to pay any taxes, any high revenue to the Britishers or zamindars. So they took the meaning of non-cooperation as a freedom from taxes or revenues. So their definition was, or the concept of non-cooperation movement was quite different. Now, come to the next group, that was the tribal group. Here, one case study can be taken, and I am going to talk about Gudaim Hills of Andhra Pradesh. It was a hill, Gudaim Hills of Andhra Pradesh, and in that particular hill, many tribal groups were there. And they were not happy with the British interference in their life. Because when the Britishers came, they framed many forest law, they banned the movement of tribals in their own forest area, they banned the shifting cultivation also. So tribals were suffering a lot and they were struggling for their livelihood during British time. So they thought that we should teach lesson to Britishers. And they got leadership of Alluri Sitaram Raju, who was a very great tribal of that time, and he followed the guerrilla technique. What was guerrilla technique? The technique to attack suddenly and come back in the respective position. So this technique was adopted by Alluri Sitaram Raju, and he claimed that he is having some magical power. He claimed himself as the incarnation of God, and he claimed that he is having some healing powers also, because he is the incarnation of God. And this is how he influenced the tribal groups. And finally, the tribal groups withstand the pressure of Britishers, and they stood up against the Britishers with their traditional arms. But finally, the movement was crushed. Here, Alluri Sitaram Raju was a great follower of Mahatma Gandhi, and he wanted to follow the guidelines of Mahatma Gandhi, but his path was quite different. He followed the path of violence, whereas Mahatma Gandhi was a complete follower of non-violence. So in this way, he was quite different, but he was a great disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, and for him, the meaning of non-cooperation movement was to get freedom from the forest law that was imposed by the Britishers. So we saw that peasants as well as tribals in the countryside that took the movement in a different way, but finally the movement could not go for a long period or for a long term. It was crushed by the British forces. Now come to the plantation. In India, many plantation areas were there which was owned by British officials and the European masters, and in which many Indians were employed. They were forced to work there. They passed one law, that was Inland Immigration Act 1859, and through that act, they hired many Indians to work as a plantation workers. And as per that